what is the purpose of the community that you've built, and what is the space that you are fitting into?
Right. The one line answer is it's democratizing startup conversations. And that's the core of everything we do. Now I'll elaborate on that, why I think that is required. Um, I started like my career in venture 4 years back, right? And I've always seen myself as an outsider insider kind of person. I'm not being an insider insider. Um, and I felt like there is so much richness in the experiences that happen in the startup ecosystem, and they're not truly captured anywhere, right? The startup ecosystem is described in a very binary way. It's either euphoria when a fundraise happens, or high criticism when something bad happens. And if you look at any startup conversation, it's not about the normal way of life, which is what the most interesting experiences are, right? Making those decisions about shipping a product or how to hire someone,
Yeah.
how did you start a company, right? And I think one conversation I had with one of the founders who actually ended up starting a company, but I had this conversation before he was starting the company. He said, dude, I can't be like these unicorn founders. They are amazing. They are superheroes. And I'm like, do you know what they were like 7 years back? And he's like, no. So that really got me thinking
Mm.
because nobody will focus on the early struggles. And, if you actually talk to the startup founders, they're very transparent about it.
Yeah.
But nobody asks them, right? Nobody says, hey, how was your first year when you had two people on your team, no money in the bank, and you were struggling to survive? And that story is there, like, for really a lot many founders who actually become very successful. So, so my idea was that let's provide access to these conversations and stories in a more authentic way. And that really has always been the goal, right? When we, when I was alone starting doing the newsletter, it was the same. When we started doing stories, same concepts, community, podcast, they're all trying to do the same thing, right? The core is that there are so many people who want access to these conversations. They're either the ones that already exist are not completely, focused on what really happens. They're always on the extremes, and there's no place to do it in an authentic way. So we're just trying to solve that essentially. I mean, but the one line is democratizing startup conversations, bring people together and discuss this particular thing. So this is the focus for us.